In video 4, we're going to cover multiple topics. If you overlay within P3D Google Maps, drape them over the surface, you could then find roads that maybe are not covered in the land covers and DTM surface you're currently using, so they can be drawn, exported as polylines from P3D. Then let's minimize this. And back in the CAD, over here, you can import them as typically as polyline files, Carlson polyline files, and then run a RoadNet on them, turn them into a RoadNet file with centerlines and profiles and templates involved. And then you can run RoadNet and create the colors that are then mapped within P3D. And if they're mapped to textures within P3D, and if you output a TIN file in this process, then you can use Dynamiccad, go into P3D, select the correct TIN there, and now we've added to it the two roads you see. And what we're going to do is run the storm event and quickly do a culvert here and a headwall on the culvert. And you'll see the effect back in the CAD. Now, as it's doing this, what we're going to do is also go into our materials. Notice in the upper right that as I hover over this texture, it's a funny name called Just Add Bison. And you can see it's found the watersheds. It's followed the crown of the road around. Part of it runs away from the site. And all of this road runs down into this watershed, feeds that pond. But what we can do to get a more accurate C factor is change Just Add Bison to a material value of 0.25, representing woods for now, and then maybe a 25 curve number, but 0.25 as the rational coefficient. And we're going to hit OK. And now we're going to note that the peak flow, because of the lower composite C factor, will be reduced from 51 CFS there on the right to something less. Now let's run this again, 50-year storm, and we're going to get a lesser peak flow due to the 0.25 C factor for the Just Add Bison feature. Then we'll quickly do a culvert and headwall over here and illustrate the power of Dynamiccad and accomplish multiple things in this video. The beauty of RoadNet is that when it makes a TIN, in effect appending to the previous TIN that you use as the input file, it doesn't lose the textures of the input file, but supplements them with the output of RoadNet. Now, notice our peak flow is all the way down to 22 CFS, right there on the right, 22.788 CFS. Quickly, let's do a culvert. We're going to do a concrete culvert. There is, in fact, a concrete culvert in place on this site. Let's go about negative 4%. And it actually gets by with a 21-inch culvert now. And if you go back to the CAD, that culvert is drawn. It's drawn across, and if you set it up to draw both sides of the pipe, you'll actually get two parallel lines. Right now we're just set up for one. Going back to the CAD, if you use the headwall feature and drop in, say, an old castle headwall on the end of the pipe, and finish the command, you'll see that we have the head wall located. Our current length is 132, as also verifiable here. We don't actually have it configured to draw the length of the pipe at present. So if I do polyline info and pick that, we have 132 seen in the CAD, but watch it reduce as we select the outlet and do this object command option to push it into the hill. It'll actually push the head wall in such that you have whatever you set here, 6 inches of freeboard, and that length of 132.79 will be reduced, and you'll see that effect back in the CAD. So you have the head walls, and not only do you have the head walls drawn, but if we inquire on the length of the pipe, it's now 128.8, lesser distance.